Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 36 of Power Up, your favorite superhero podcast, our favorite superhero show to do for you. My name is Dean Marchese, otherwise known as the Beast NJ, and with me, as always, is my faithful sidekick and co-host, Gregory Verga.
I wasn't ready, but here we are.
I gave you like 30 chances to be ready. That's all your fault.
Okay, I look pretty good for today's show, everybody.
You look great.
Thank you. This is my outfit from yesterday. I fell asleep at my aunt's house for my birthday party.
Yeah.
I'm 22 now.
Why are you so
Woohoo.
high up? Like your chair is so high up. Or like you just are like, your head's at the top of the screen here, but it's normally not at the top of the screen. Did you move your webcam or something maybe?
I don't know. Let's try something.
That looks more normal to me. Yep, you nailed it. That did it. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Shut up. Okay, guys. So as you may remember, way once upon a time ago, there was a little indie film coming out called Captain America: Civil War.
Oh yeah, we saw that. I think
We did. We saw it together.
Yeah.
I posted my reviews here, but we promised you guys a joint review, a full episode of Power Up, talking all about Civil War. So
Yeah.
we are giving you that finally. It is going to be a shorter episode because we're going to give you a proper episode 37 right after this. So
Correct.
if you're watching them today, you get 2 episodes. So good for you. So
We
this
matched too.
we do a little bit. Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
The Blues match.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
all.
this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but we're going to just spend some time talking all about Civil War, what we think, how it's doing.
Full spoilers, warnings.
Yes, full spoilers. If you haven't seen it by now, you're watching the wrong show. I don't know who you are and what you're
Yeah,
thinking, but you really need to have seen that shit at this point.
Yeah, oh, that's rude.
So without further ado, Greg, first
Yes.
impressions of Captain America: Civil War. Go.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask in one question. I'm gonna go with.
Mhm.
Are we using like one word to describe it?
No, just talk about it. What did you think about it?
Oh, like I can. Okay. It was fucking amazing. I loved the pacing of the film. I think
Yeah.
everything worked really well in the film. The characters worked really well in the film. I was kind of nervous how overbloated the film was going to be, considering all the characters they had to cover.
Sure.
But I think the way they utilized each character, kind of recognized that specific character in each of their moments. Like
Right.
each one of the characters had a moment where I was like, "Oh, like that's pretty fucking awesome."
Yeah,
I
everybody
never
got
felt
their
like,
time to shine.
yeah, I never
sure.
felt like anybody was like, "Oh, well, like remember the guy Hawkeye? Here he is." Like
Yeah.
it was kind of like they all fit into a mold.
Yeah.
Very whimsically written. Loved all the lines in the film. We have a guy called Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hyphenated.
Phil Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seemed pretty cool. Never heard about him before.
Yeah.
Apparently he gets bit by a spider.
Yeah.
He gets these like super strength and like, because apparently I don't know what happens, but spiders are strong.
So it was the second time I saw it when I saw Craig, as you guys probably know, and still that part when Spider-Man comes out, I looked at Greg and I'm like,
I was like, yes, like
Yeah.
everything about
so
it.
satisfying.
Okay, so let's cover what I loved about the film first.
Yeah, hit it, man. What do you got for me? I want to let you do a lot of
I'm,
the
like,
talking
sitting
because
up.
I
I'm sitting up.
have 2 reviews on the site already.
Okay,
One
so-
spoiler filled and one spoiler free. So I want to hear what you thought.
Okay, here's what I thought. Scarlet Witch totally won me over in this movie.
She was very cool.
Elizabeth Olsen, I was like, wait, like, what is your life? I don't know why they casted you in this role. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. You're not the Scarlet Witch. Over the course of the films that she's been in, I think it's just been Age of Ultron, right?
Yeah.
This is only her
So
second.
far, yeah.
So I can't even say over the course of the films. And Age of Ultron, I fucking hated her. I'm like, this is the worst Scarlet Witch ever. And then the only cool thing she did in that movie was at the very end when Quicksilver dies. Full spoilers. Hi. She fucking goes berserk, and you see like a little glimpse of what her powers could be. So now at the end of that movie, she was training and shit, and in this one, she's still kind of in the training stages, but she's so much more in control of her powers,
Mhm.
and she knows now how powerful she is.
Sure.
There's a specific scene with Vision where he locks her down in the compound, and he's like, "Oh, Tony said I'm not allowed to let you leave," and she's like, "Oh, you're not?" She literally balls up energy and throws him down the 7 pits of hell in
That
Dante's
was cool.
Inferno.
Yeah. The fight
said,
between them was really cool.
It's like, that was amazing. I loved the acting on her part. Not so much with the accent. She still needs to figure out what the hell her accent is, because
It wavers a lot.
she'll be like, in one scene, she'll be like, "And then I told him, Tony." I'm like, I'm from Russia and I'm the Scarlet Witch. And then in the literal next line, Tony will say something. The next line, she's like, yeah, but like that's really weird because I
Yeah.
literally just use my powers.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, something's a little off there. But like, if they figure out the accent issue, maybe Tony can make like an implant that just makes her talk English. That would be cool.
Or
Like,
she just keep her fucking Russian accent like every other actor would.
that's what I'm confused about. Like, the guy who plays Black Panther doesn't have an accent in real life.
No.
So like, Childawa,
The actor's name?
Yeah.
I want to say is it Chadwick Boseman? Am I thinking of the right man?
Chadwick Boseman, yeah.
Pretty
But
sure
I didn't know the name, so I kind of just wormed out all the syllables, hoping that it would
That
be
is his name, yeah.
So Chadwick Boseman. He doesn't have an accent in real life.
No.
And he carries his accent pretty goddamn well throughout the whole film. So
Yeah, it never wavers once. He is fantastic, and I'm sure we'll get to him. But yeah, he's from South Carolina, so no, he does not have an African accent. But yeah, it's like, here's the thing: Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. She's not the greatest actress.
No.
You know what I mean? She just isn't. And so it is what it is. But yeah, she definitely stepped it up for me. I'm with you on that. I think she really came into the role a little bit more, and it was really cool to see the relationship between Vision start to be hinted at. They didn't go full on like they do in the comics yet, but I liked it.
We're shipping them.
But
we
I
have
liked it.
Scarlet Vision.
I didn't think they would like start alluding to that, and I was like, oh, they're doing it. We're doing this. Cool.
They love each other. They're gonna have weird Infinity Stone babies.
That's actually impossible because he's an android.
Okay.
They don't ever have children. In fact, they get. Well, I won't.
He has a penis.
We don't know that. We don't know that at all.
Him and Scarlet Witch don't have sex in the comics.
No, they can't. He doesn't. He's an android.
But they're in love.
They have like weird, like.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a romantic kind of guy, but if you ain't having
like,
sex, that's a big part of the relationship.
They have like weird, like I don't know. It's different. Like an Avatar where they like connect to the tree.
Oh, they have like.
I think they do like
sex?
shit like that, but it's like.
No, I'm not a fan.
I don't know. I don't want to ruin anything for you in case they do go this way, but no, down the line in the comics, things really don't work out between them, and shit gets real. So that would be cool to see the relationship go from being like comrades and then going into a relationship, and to see it like erupt as it does in the comics. That would be a cool arc to see like fully play out.
I would like that as well, especially because she looks like she's going to be signing on for a majority of the deals if the old cast really is retiring, which I still don't think they are. Second love of the film.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I did not expect him to, number one, look that good. I did not expect him. I still don't know what the fucking source of his powers are, but like I'm excited to find out now in his own solo movie coming out.
That's the one caveat for me. Really, one of my only negatives is like we don't know anything. Like we know, is it like, okay, he's got the suit, it must be made of vibranium. They don't bother to tell you that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, is his power coming from the suit? Is his power coming from the charm he wears? Is his power coming from the ring from his father? Like they don't tell you any of that. He just says it's a mantle passed down. You're like, but where, like, what are you? How do you do anything of what you do?
So that's what makes me excited. I think they set up a lot of questions in the Black Panther solo movie, which I'm excited about. Chadwick, like I said, amazing actor. Loved all of his normal scenes. Even when he had the fight scene with Bucky, which is one of my highlights of the whole film, where Black Widow and Agent 13 go up against him first, and they both get taken down real quick. And not before Black Widow fucking flips up on his head and starts beating the fuck out of him.
Yeah,
I'm like...
Cool.
Every scene Black Widow was in, she's my third love of the film. Every scene Black Widow was in this movie, I looked at Dean, I'm like, she's crazy. Dean's like, yeah, she's fucking insane. I'm like, no, like, she's crazy. Like, she has no regard for life. Like, she's just like, I don't give a shit. She's doing flips, twirling people. I'm like, okay, bro.
Jen really doesn't have any, like, allegiance to any of these people. She watches the movies because I enjoy them. She makes an effort to care, but, like, even she was like, yo, Black Widow was really cool in this. I was like, yes, she was. She was very cool, which is an important thing for young female girls coming to see these movies.
The best part, I think her best scene is when the whole Avengers team is going to infiltrate, and they're going after Crossbones for the first time. Yep. And when they're going after him for the first time, she has the one scene where she goes up to the two military convoys where he's at, and she fucking charges and swings from one guy, kicks another, like doing flips over the fucking... I'm like... Yeah. Okay, like you might not have a power, boo, but like you do you, boo boo. Like
I think that was generally the audience like really took to her performance, not just us, because it sounds like he was asked about like other Avengers getting solo films now that the kind of ensemble pieces are coming into their own, and Kevin Feige specifically said he wasn't asked about Black Widow, but he specifically pulled out and said she's the one we're most considering right now for a solo franchise.
And it makes so much sense because she's one of the lead Avengers. It would be the first female movie, but like now where would they fit her in? There's so much in the pipeline. Like her movie would have to be so far down. That's the only thing that
could be like,
unless they delay stuff again.
It could be really cool though. I think it's high time, honestly. And I think if you wait much longer, it's going to be too late. Just because there's going to be too much of a shake in the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Thanos comes. You know.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened. She had that movie. What was that movie where she's like the robot girl?
Lucy.
Yeah,
she had that movie,
she took these, and like that was pills. Literally just no one knew what the fuck Lucy was. It was Scarlett Johansson on a movie poster, and people literally saw it. They had like an awesome opening and everything. And
it opened
everyone
well.
that saw it was like, yes, Lucy.
The movie was okay, but she was great in it, and she opened a weekend like pretty well. So
it was kind of like Black Widow, to be honest. Like she was like a covert.
Sort of, yeah. It was like drug enhancements made her like give these like crazy abilities, and she kept like evolving and evolving.
It was kind of awesome.
It was pretty cool.
I
liked her in it a lot.
Yeah, I love her. I like ScarJo. I feel like she's a good person. She deserves a solo movie. I hope they do it for her. My fourth love of the film, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he crushed it.
Holy shit, dude! Like every single scene he was in, I was either almost brought to tears or like brought to tears because I was crying so much. Yeah. I was expecting to cry in this movie. I didn't cry in the movie. But wow, like his performance, dude, like if anybody deserves an award from a superhero film, Robert Downey Jr., I think fucking is the guy who deserves it. And then last but not least, my fifth and final love of the film, fucking Spider-Man. Dude, like everyone knows I was a big proponent of Andrew Garfield. I loved him. I'm like, Toby who? Like literally didn't know.
Yeah.
And fucking like Tom Holland came in and now I'm like, Mr. Garfield, like the cat from the cartoon comic strips, like Tom Holland killed it.
He sure
killed it. Like, guys, what's that one scene from Empire? That old movie. I'm like, okay. Grabs Bucky's arm. He's like, your arm's made out of metal? That's fucking awesome. I'm like, okay. Literally during the fight scene, they're like, you're not supposed to be talking while we're fighting. And he's like, oh, right. Sorry. My bad. I'm like, yes. Like,
they released that. They released that scene on someone had it. I just watched that entire 15-minute. First of all, that whole fight scene is the best. Is the best like big fantastical like sprawling open use of like superheroes fighting and using superpowers and stuff in any superhero movie ever. You had like Giant Man and Spider-Man swinging off a Giant Man, crawling over his face. War Machine's like shooting down trucks and shit.
Scarlet Witch is pulling down cars out of a parking garage like it's fucking playing cars. I'm like, what? Vision shooting people with his beam of light, which he is the one that ends up fucking shooting Rhodey, that dirty motherfucker. Who would have thought that was the scene that was how that was gonna play out? It's just so many good parts to this film. Spider-Man took up a lot more of the film than I thought he was going to, if I'm being honest. But I feel like they're so excited. I mean, he was even the post-credit scenes where it was like Spider-Man will return. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from this film.
Yeah.
Now to my criticisms. Captain America, I feel like was a little underutilized. I feel like he wasn't in the film as much as I wanted him to be in the film, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, this was a Captain America movie. And I feel like with the over-bloating of all the other cast members that were in it, I feel like they didn't give him enough moments. There was one scene that I loved him in when him and Bucky are in the ship and that's when like the fight's over. Black Widow helps them to escape by shooting Black Panther and they're flying by themselves and they have that conversation. Love that moment. Just wish we could have had more moments like that.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Really?
I will, yeah. I that was one of my praises is I don't think there was any overbloating. I think the use of the full cast was like really impressive how it didn't feel like very overbloated. And I honestly think when you go back and watch it again, you're going to feel differently because when you're taking everything in for the first time and all the spectacle of it and it's like sensory overload. And then the second time when I went back in, I was more like, you know, just taking it in, watching everything. And the only time there's really like all these different characters going on is that scene. It's the big fight scene at the airport.
Yeah.
And then later, like, they're used very minorly, and there's I think you'll be surprised at how much Cap really is around.
I don't feel as a whole the characters overbloated the film. I just feel like Captain America was underutilized. They could have used him a lot more, I think.
I respect your opinion.
Every scene he was in, I loved. But I was just like, in some scenes, like weird scene with Scarlet Witch and Vision where they're like cooking. I'm like, why isn't like Cap in this scene? Or like just like awkward moments like that where I was like, these are weird transitions to like put in a film. Like,
Well, he
okay.
couldn't be on that scene. He was on the run at that point. He was a
Yeah,
fugitive.
no, I get like he couldn't be in a lot more stuff, but every scene, like I was saying, every scene he's in, I love that him and my girl Sharon clap it up, shippers. We got them to finally kiss. Even she says in the movie, and I'm so happy how meta this film is because literally every single thing that you think of the movie, they say.
Yeah.
He has the great scene where what's his face is getting away in the helicopter and he holds the helicopter back down.
Bucky.
I'm like,
yeah,
what? I'm like, that's fucking crazy. The use of the shield in the beginning battle when he's with the new Avengers and they're going through and he's throwing the fucking shield over the place. I'm like, yes.
I
like,
love that scene
amazing.
when they release all the gas and he's like pinned up behind a wall and he's looking around. He's like, what the fuck am I gonna do right now? And then he like lobs it off the ground. I was like, shit, that's cool.
Yeah, it was the best.
The guy sitting next to me who spilled his popcorn all over my seat when I saw it with you. Sure. When that part happened, he was like, oh. I was like, yeah, that was rad.
It was awesome. And then another notable scene with him was at the very end when he's fighting Tony. And then Tony rips off Bucky's arm. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then Cap is beating the fucking shit out of him. Mm-hmm. Then he picks up the shield, and you're like, wait, what? Like, yeah. Like he threw me. I thought he was gonna fuking kill Tony.
Yeah, they make you second guess yourself for a minute. You're like, I should know better, but like, is this gonna happen? I feel like it might happen. When he lifts up
the shield, I'm like, no. Yeah. And then he hits the arc reactor, and I'm like,
yeah.
And then it took me a while. I forgot that Tony takes out the arc reactor. So at first I'm like, no, that's like his life source. But then I'm like, no, he fixed that problem. He fixed that.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
Even Tony is like he thought he was getting it. He was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
That whole ending fight scene, the slow-mo shot when Iron Man fucking goes up against Cap's shield, and it's literally they put it in slow motion.
So iconic, dude.
I'm like, dude, like,
that was straight off of the panel of the comic book.
I loved the whole arc of Tony finding out about his parents that we all knew about. Like, I love how, and that's another great meta line too, is Tony's kind of like, did you know about this? And the viewers kind of like Captain America in that position where they're like, we kind of did, but like, we kind of didn't know, but like, we all know, like for sure. And
he does. He tries to tell him that, and then he's like, cut the bullshit. And he's
and I'm like, oh.
He's like, yes. And then as you're watching it, you're like,
yeah, I know.
It's so hard to watch. That scene, seeing it again a second time was like, it's not easier the second time. I was like, this is hard to watch, dude. Not because it's bad, because it's too good. And you're like
that fight
emotionally
scene in that
attached.
small ass corridor too was so well choreographed. Like, wow, that little corridor they managed to put so much fucking fight scene in it. When nothing will beat that shot still of the panning around and Bucky and Cap are throwing the shield back and forth, just beating the fuck out of Iron Man. I'm like, dude, that still like amazed me. I love this movie. I don't know where it fits still. I want to see it again before I give it an official ranking in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know. It
has all the feels of an Avengers film.
It does, yeah. It has all of the same beats. Like, it has all the same like big moments you would expect from Avengers film. But for me, also at the end of the day, like, it felt like a proper Captain America sequel or Winter Soldier sequel. Like, it still feels like a Captain America movie with some Avengers flair. Which is crazy. I heard something online where they were like, Captain America is the only superhero trilogy that gets better with each. I'm like, that's kind of fucking true. And some people would say Winter Soldier is still better. I personally, I don't know if I think this is better than Avengers or what or where it is, but I personally thought this was better than Winter Soldier. And that's saying a lot because I fucking love Winter Soldier.
I know.
I don't know, the emotional weight between Tony and Steve, and then the whole relationship with Steve and Bucky coming back into the fold. All the relationships in this movie just worked really well for me. And it made it feel like something like huge, and it's gonna change things. Like, sure, there were no real stakes, nobody died. I know some people are disappointed about that, but it's gonna change things. Like,
Rhodey's paralyzed.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be so simple as like, well, there's a threat. He calls him on the burner phone that he gave him, and it's like they're friends again. Like, they might work together, but like, I don't think it's gonna be as cut and dry as like, cool, we're boys again. Like, too much has happened at this point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like, now they can't go back to their bromance. Like, how do you go back to that after all of this? Like, it doesn't exist at this point anymore. I really loved, a big complaint in other reviews was Zemo as the villain of the film, but like, I thought they did everything like perfect with
I like
him.
Zemo.
Like
I thought he worked. I don't
I
think he needed to be there. I also,
Yeah.
but see, when you say that, like, I also don't think Spider-Man needed to be there.
that's my point.
You could have
it's like,
easily did that movie without Spider-Man, and it would have worked totally fine. But it
Yeah.
was cool that they were there.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were little nods, little Easter eggs, and fun little comic book nods to the Civil War comic storyline. And Zemo wasn't bad at all. I don't think they focused on him too long. I thought his pacing was really well done. That's what I have to praise this film for, is like the pacing as a whole. Like it felt so short to me, and it was like 2.5 hours, almost 2 hours and 45
It's
minutes.
funny. A lot of people's complaint is it was too long, and they thought the pacing was bad.
And I looked at Dean at when the movie ended. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I feel like we got, because the airport fight sequence isn't until like the last maybe half an hour, 45-minute stretch of the film. So like, and that's only 15 minutes of it.
Right.
So you're taking that, and then you have like a half an hour left still of the story. So like, it just kept ramping up the film, to the point where I was like, damn, dude, like this is fucking crazy.
See, I like having you to contrast me because you're more of a DC guy.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to, so people, like, you can see, like, I'm not crazy. I'm not just sucking off Marvel for the sake of being a Marvel fan. Like, I mean what I tell you. And like, a lot of people are complaining that they thought it was a little too long. The pacing was a little off. I totally disagree. I think that movie feels like 2 hours tops, and then you get an additional 30 minutes of like, it just goes by so quick.
Yeah,
it really did.
And when it ended, I looked at you. I'm like, no. I'm like, I want to watch it again right now. Like, even the 2 post-credit teases now. Black Panther is happening, so I guess really we could talk about that for a bit. Is like, where do they go from here? Like, Black Panther is chilling with Cap and now has Bucky, the guy that he started off in the film trying to kill, and you find out that they're in Wakanda because you see the huge Panther statue.
Oh, so before we talk about that, we should probably mention how fucking great was that scene when Tony was just helplessly laying on the ground and Cap's walking away, and he's like, "You don't deserve that shield. My father made that shield," and he just stops, and he's just like, "Fuck, he's right," and he just drops
Notably,
it.
the whole movie, the shield held the Black Panther scratch on it because vibranium is the only thing that can affect vibranium. So I'm excited to see the vibranium deposits. I'm hoping there's like a covert mission op storyline with that. People trying to invade Wakanda. That would be fucking awesome.
Well, we already saw, Ulysses Claw in the Age of Ultron has been like, he was stealing and he got branded for it.
Yeah.
So was that brand from Black Panther? Are we going to see Claw as the big villain in Black Panther? Is Black Panther going to be the one to get Cap a new shield? Or is Cap going to be shieldless? Who knows?
Because now there's 2 teams of Avengers, and how the fuck are they going to do figure out where all the Avengers are at? And like, there's going to be, I think Cap's going to be in the next Black Panther movie.
Probably. That would be cool.
I think Bucky's definitely going to make an appearance there. They're going to figure out why the fuck he's frozen in a chamber in fucking Wakanda. Like, they have to still do so much story over Black Panther, Doctor Strange. I don't know how he's going to get introduced to the fold. Like, what? Like,
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like, he's the first one of true, genuine magical powers. Like, Scarlet Witch, you can kind of say that, but, like, Doctor Strange is literally going through different dimensions. Like, she's still based in, like, Russia and then got fucking powers. Like,
I like that about Spider-Man, too, is when Tony goes to visit him, which, by the way, that was a huge highlight for me.
Oh, my God.
The interaction between Tony and Peter. He's like, all right, Spider-Man, get me out of this.
Yeah.
I love them, dude. Those two together.
The little awkward segues to now, first of all, Pepper and Tony, shipper community out there, they're done. Bye, Pepper.
I think that's going to be
up with Tony.
I think that's going to be a thing moving forward. I don't think she's going to come back.
I don't think Gwyneth Paltrow.
I know she's got a lot of bad publicity attached to her, and I feel like that maybe has something to do with it.
Because she cheated on her husband, that dirty bitch.
Did you in real life?
Yeah,
really?
That's why her and Chris Martin got a divorce. She was dating the lead singer for Coldplay. Yeah, it's a little guys. I'm a shipper of real life couples.
I knew she was with the guy from Coldplay. I didn't know she cheated on him though.
She cheated, and he's the rock star. You would expect him to cheat on her when he's on tour or some shit. They have 2 little boys.
Coldplay, rock star. When I think of rock star, I think of like Rolling Stones.
That's true.
Coldplay are like, we want to have herbal tea and organic vegetables. They're kind of hipstery.
I saw him in concert and he was stoned.
I like Coldplay though.
He was awesome. Yeah, I love Coldplay. But yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow I don't think is coming back. And then they kind of made little segues because Tony was kind of hitting on Aunt May a bit, considering she's now 40 years younger than every iteration we've ever seen of the woman.
We might actually get our predictions to come true.
We know, guys, that Dean and I joke a lot on Power Up, but most of the 99.99% of the time, what we say on the show happens.
It's getting scary.
Literally, we said that Aunt May and Tony Stark will fuck, and literally, I think that's what's happening in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like that scared me. He's like, you didn't tell me your aunt was mildly attractive, and he's like, don't say things like that. That's my Aunt May. I'm like, what? I'm like, really though.
Yeah, it's getting a
Whereas
little.
Tomei is
It's
beautiful.
getting a little sketchy. But anyway, the scene between them when he goes there and like back to your point about like Doctor Strange being the first like mystical one, and or maybe Scarlet Witch, you don't know, but Scarlet Witch they explain she's a mutant. They don't call her a mutant, but she's enhanced.
Yeah.
And so like I liked that when Tony was trying to figure out like on a scientific level, he's like interested in that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh cool, textile condensed webbing, like who made that? And he's like, I did.
Yeah.
And then he's like, sticking to walls. What do you do? Adhesive gloves? And he's like, it's a long story.
Yeah, he's like 6 months ago, which is crazy how new he is still.
Yeah.
I like the YouTube video that Tony has where he's in the old costume.
And
I
the
like
suit.
Gave a nod to that.
Yeah, the suit. That was
I
the
love
suit that was rumored in that concept art that we showed here.
That. Yeah, with
cool.
the goggles and everything. That was so cool.
Super cool.
And then his upgrades in the suit when he comes in for the fight scene was just amazing.
We nailed a lot, and I mentioned that in my reviews here on the channel. We nailed a lot.
Yeah.
That we were like, oh, maybe Tony makes the suit, blah blah blah. And this was before, remember, that they showed him in the trailer.
Yeah.
So we were predicting this stuff, and then they showed him in the trailer, and we nailed some
Since
stuff.
the movie launched, too, I really appreciate, because leading up to the movie, they wanted to keep all of Spider-Man a surprise because of how much he was actually in the film, which I thought was cool. But now, like, I've seen them marketing more with a lot of him in the trailers and stuff like that. My biggest takeaway is that they didn't use him more for the advertising for, like, the posters and stuff. Because at that point, we had already known he was going to be in the film. So just put, like, Spider-Man on, like, Team Iron Man side. You know?
I have seen him popping up in the like the post-launch TV spots now.
Oh, yeah, all the TV spots he's in now. Like, it's insane. Like, he's a majority of the trailer because that was everyone's, like, best part of the film, I think. Everyone can agree, I think Spider-Man stole this movie. Like,
yeah, he was fantastic.
he was incredible, dude. Like, to the point where everyone's just like, what? Like, it just makes so much sense that he belongs in this universe. He belongs with these characters, and I'm so happy he's finally home.
It goes to show you really the credibility of how much Marvel cares about their characters.
Exactly.
It's like as soon as they got their hands on Spider-Man again, they were like, great, let's stop letting people fuck him up. He was the face of that brand forever.
And undoubtedly, he's the best Spider-Man we've had.
Yeah,
like what?
Unquestionable.
Like, that's amazing. Like, I didn't even think about Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire at all.
No, I really didn't. And we've made it very publicly clear that we really liked Andrew Garfield. Yeah.
I love him so much. But
it's just
like,
that's all the more credit to Tom Holland and the folks at Marvel, dude. Like, I love that they went for that young Spider-Man, dude.
Me too.
There's Peter, dude. As soon as he shows up and he throws his book bag and he turns around and he's fumbling over his words, I'm like, fuck yes, dude. This is Peter Parker. This is the guy who was reading about this since I was 6 years old. I was so happy.
He's a nerdy, adorable kid, and I love him.
Tom Holland's amazing.
Love that
Killed
kid.
it.
He's amazing. And the scene too at the end of the fight scene where his mask is kind of off. He's like, "I'm good. Like, we can do this." And Tony's just like, "Stay down." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, stay
like,
home. Or I'm calling Aunt May.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, I love that. Overall, like, probably best movie I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, for me.
And I go every Tuesday to the movies. How does it compare to Batman vs Superman?
See if the old X-Men can top it.
So much better.
Sitting at 57% on Metacritic right now.
That's crazy.
Every time I see the trailers, not to go too much to this in our Civil War review, but in the Marvel banner comes up, I'm like, guys, do you really have to use that? Can we just call it what it is? It's a Fox movie. It's not Marvel.
I know. I really wish. Could they do the 20th Century Fox like right before the Marvel pages?
They do. They do it. They do the Fox in the trailers on the TV, but I don't remember if it's before or after. But I think that's probably in Marvel's contract is like they have to use the Marvel branding because they're Marvel characters.
Yeah.
But I think like
if I was Marvel though, I wouldn't want that.
At this point, I would be like, you guys don't have to use that.
That's what I mean. And coming off the heels of this too, like speaking about what's next in the movies, like now we have to figure out why the fuck there are two teams of Avengers. That we have like the Rogue One, which everyone's like, oh, Secret Avengers possibly.
I think
they have to make up their story as they go along in these films. Michael B. Jordan just got cast in the Black Panther movie, so Fantastic Four is definitely done. They're not showing up anytime soon.
We have a lot to talk about the next episode.
Dude, like, it's just so crazy. I have no idea where they're going with the stories. I'm excited now because, like, a lot of Civil War we predicted.
Yeah.
Infinity Wars is not being called Infinity Wars anymore. Like,
yeah, that's right.
There's so much, dude.
Well,
like,
it is called Infinity Wars. It's not called Part 1 and 2.
Oh,
How
so
was
it's
it?
gonna be like Infinity War :
Like it's Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America First Avenger. Yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
Infinity Wars whatever, and then Infinity Wars whatever.
So, but is it Avengers Infinity War?
I don't think so. That's an interesting question though,
Yeah, because I feel like
because
the
you would
Avengers
think they
Navy
would
would be
want
in there.
that attached to it, but yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe. Yeah,
The title's in the works.
Good
but,
question, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Because then I'm like, I feel like you need that. I'm
They
really
almost
happy
have to, yeah.
how well Captain America performed, like in comparison to all the other films. Like it opened up amazingly.
Oh yeah, it's just pushed Marvel, which we're gonna talk about in the next episode as well.
Yeah.
It just pushed them over to the $10 billion mark.
Honestly, just congratulations to Marvel. Like they still have yet to disappoint me in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
The only movie I haven't liked that they've ever released is Iron Man 2. But other than that, and when I say that, I literally watched that whole movie and I'm like, this is like good.
Yeah,
Like everything else is
their bad ones are good
to phenomenal, but like their bad ones are like better. Like that's still above Batman fucking vs Superman for me.
Yeah.
Like DC, get your fucking shit together. I have your banner behind me and I'm about to replace it. Like, what are you doing with your lives? Like this took every one of my complaints of Batman vs Superman, and literally it's so ironic because Marvel came out and said like, when they announced Batman vs Superman, we were like, fuck, like we have to push the story in. That's what made them push to do Civil War. And I'm like, that's mind-blowing to me because Batman vs Superman was actual garbage and Civil War was actual perfection.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it's safe to say we both really, really loved it.
Loved it.
And obviously, we're going to have much more Marvel stuff to talk about with you guys when we hear about it. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed our Civil War discussion here on episode 36 of Power Up. If you have yet to see the movie, I'm sorry. We did give you a spoiler warning. If you've seen the movie, let us know in the comments what you guys thought about it. If you agree with us on some points. If you don't agree, that's cool. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. Most importantly, it's a new channel. And we're trying to build it back up to where we were. And we would really appreciate your support. Also... Yes. Click the like button if you like the videos. It's a small thing.
It's a thumb.
It really helps us out a lot. That's how videos, if you guys don't know, to give you a quick rundown, that's how videos get recognized on YouTube by the more likes it has. Depends on where it shows up in your suggested videos watch list. So if you guys were able to take just the 2 seconds to click it, not even 2 seconds, 1 second,
like
half a second.
0.2 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
So if you could do that for us and you enjoy the videos, if you enjoy them, if you don't, that's fine. If you do, we would really appreciate the support. So remember, you can catch this show on Mondays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, you're getting 2 episodes, so lucky you. Wow. You can follow me on Twitter at @thebeast_NJ. You can follow Greg at Greg Verga. You can follow the Level Up Network at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL.
That was beautiful.
Thank you so much. And that's it, guys. Take care.
Wait, pause. Before we end this episode, I want to point out how far we've come on this show.
Yeah.
And how amazing it is that Dean... I want to congratulate Dean because Dean and I started out this show, and when we started out the show, he used to have like a paragraph in our outline of how to do the intro, how to do the outro. And I just really think that doing this show, number one, has boosted like your confidence in front of the camera so much. And I just wanted to let you know that I noticed these things. I appreciate you as a human, and you've just improved greatly as a host. And I think now to the point where he just said all of that to you guys, and I'm looking at the outline and I'm like, wow, like we've literally come so far to the point where like now he literally just lists stuff all at the top of his head. He's like Greg Miller of hosting.
I really appreciate that.
I love it.
That was
and I congratulate
super, super nice, man. Thank you so much.
I noticed these things, and I wanted to honor you on the show.
That was really nice of you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. It really does, because
you're an incredible guy, Dean.
I love doing this. I really do, and it makes me happy to know that we're getting better.
And that's my favorite part, is that the thing that we both love to do is it's also like an improvement on us and our features as humans. I blacked out for a bit. Sorry,
you did,
guys.
but you're back. I got
it.
As you're giving me praise, I minimized the fucking screen.
Dean, we've improved so much. I disagree.
See ya. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Power up.
Power up.